So there's a spider here. The third book, Lie in the Spring Bartholomew. Then, oh, there's so many good books. I can. Oh, there's a hot air balloon. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Hear me yap about bookish things and maybe some Taylor Swift stuff. Today we're doing the mid-year book freakout tag. We're almost at the half of the month of June, which means that it's time for a mid-year bookish recap of the first half of the year and the books that I have read or bought. Maybe bought some. So it's time to recap all of those. So there is this tag or challenge been going around for years in Instagram and YouTube and blogs, which is the mid-year book freakout tag. It has a set of questions, which I will always show on the screen, and I will do my best to answer them as short as I can. And I have also made an addition to these questions because I like statistics and numbers, so I have added some numbers and I will compare them to the numbers last year. And no, this is not to pressure anyone, not even me. I just like to follow what I'm reading, and the numbers are a good way to do that. It's not to compare to anyone else or say that books should be a numbers game, because they're not. So let's start. So there's a spider here. I'm not afraid of spiders, and it's tiny, but I will deal with it. The spider has left the building. So numbers, the total amount of book, hold up, let's rewind a bit. So it's not the end of June yet. So while I will probably read about 3 to 5 books more, 5 is a bit ambitious, maybe 3, let's say 3. I will probably read about 3 books this month still, but we can cover all that in the end of the year book review. The total amount of books I have read the first half of the year is 46. Last year it was 57. My current reading goal is 90 books, which is the same as last year. It was also 90 books. Total pages read is 23,577, and last year it was 27,343. Then the average rating is 3.8 stars. Last year it was 4.2. I feel like the difference in the star ratings this year and last year is huge. I had such a good reading year last year, especially the first half of the year. It was amazing. And now I feel like when I got my Kindle as a Christmas present last year, I started reading books that I would not rather buy to my own shelf because I knew that I would be 50-50 whether I like them or not. I think what has happened now is that I have read more books that I'm unsure of and more books out of my comfort zone that I would not have read last year because I didn't want to buy them. But now that I have my Kindle, I can buy them with the lower cost and they're easier and I don't have them take space from my shelf. And they have obviously lowered the star rating because they have not been what I usually know that I will love and will buy on my shelf. Do you get what I mean? So I have read about 50% of the books as physical books, 48% as digital books, and 2% as an audiobook. I have listened to 1 book as audiobook, and that book was Furybound by Sable Sorensen, and it was a disappointment, but let's get back to that later. I have had 3 5-star books this year. 3. Last year I had 9. So I don't know if I'm more strict with my rating or if I have just read more books that do not deserve 5 stars. I had DNF'd 0 books, same as last year. My most read genres are fantasy, romance and contemporary, which is the same as last year. And my most read authors are Chloe Walsh, Lee Rivers and Helen Scheurer. And I have read 97% of the books in English and about 3% in Finnish. So that was the numbers section that I have added myself, and now we're going to start the unofficial official questions of the mid-year book freakout tag. The first question is, what is the best book so far in 2026? I can't just choose one. So I have two. The first book I had in mind is Release Me by Tahereh Mafi. I am the biggest Shatter Me universe fan. Shatter Me, especially Unravel Me and Ignite Me, are my Roman Empire. Watch Me was a great dive back into that universe with different characters, same but different, you know. But this one, this gave me the same feeling as Unravel Me, and I love that book, so definitely this one. And then the other book is Heavenly Bodies by MIDYEARBOOKTAG. This is the Waterstones exclusive edition. This is the second book I read this year, the first week of January, and I was amazed that can I really read one of the best books of the year during the first week of the year. It felt unreal, but yes, these two are the best books so far in 2026. Next question. What is your favorite sequel in the first half of 2026? And I have to say, Release Me. I have tried to read and continue series that I'm in the middle of. So I have read quite a bit of sequels this year. This is by far the best of them. Next we have new releases that I haven't read yet, but I'm very excited too. The first one is Bloodbound from Ellis Hunter. This has dragons, I think, panthers and furry animals, and witches. Yes, this has witches and dragons. I'm obsessed with both of them. So this one I'm very excited. Then we have Fallen Stars, which is the sequel to Heavenly Bodies by MIDYEARBOOKTAG. And I know this is a crime. I have not gotten to read it yet after the masterpiece that was Heavenly Bodies. But the third book got pushed back to March 2027. So I have been trying to tame myself and leave like 6 months in between each book so that I don't have the worst book hangover after I finish this and I don't have the sequel in my hands. But I'm very excited. And the third one is The Thorn Queen, Shasha Payton Smith, which is the sequel to The Rose Bargain. I really like The Rose Bargain, it was great in my opinion. I like duologies, I like that they wrap up in a neat package within 2 books, so I'm very excited to read this one. Then there's a question about the biggest disappointments so far, and I have 4. The biggest by far is Furybound by Sable Sorensen, which is the sequel to Direbound, which was like Fourth Wing but with dire wolves. And I loved it. I gave it 4.75 stars, if I remember correctly. We buddy read it with Camilla and we really liked it, and we were very excited to buddy read the second one as well. And then Furybound came out and it was madly expensive on Kindle, and we did not have it in Finland yet as a physical copy. So I had 1 credit in Amazon Audible. Me, an audiobook hater. Okay, I don't hate audiobooks, but they don't work for me. I can't concentrate, I can't grasp the world and the characters and the meanings like I can in physical book when I listen. I listened to Furybound and I think I might have liked it more if I read it as a physical copy, but I think not. I gave it 3 stars, it felt very generous, but something just wasn't working, so that was a disappointment. That was the disappointment of the first half of the year, but then there's 3 mild disappointments, which the first one is King of Gluttony. I have liked the Kings of Sin series, but it has not risen to the level of Twisted series, and I think this was shallow. It was missing something, and I genuinely cannot remember anything about it except that there was some restaurant espionage thing. And then there's Blood and Steel from Helen Scheuerer. I did read the whole series though, but I had bigger expectations for the first book because I had heard people rave about it and say it's very good, and I think it was too long. The whole series was too long. Took until the last book that things started rolling. So it was fine, but I had expected more. And lastly is Edge of Steel from Elizabeth Dear, which is the sequel to Clash of Claws. And I read Clash of Claws, it was the first book I read this year, and I liked it. I liked it so much. It was so addictive and so good. It's Why Choose, and there's a war academy kind of thing and demons. It was very entertaining, but the second book felt like a novella. It felt like a summer camp novella which had no flesh over the bone. So I'm still eagerly waiting for the third one, Rage of Beasts, but I had expected more. Then there is what is my biggest surprise so far. And I had 2 surprises. I was surprised how much I loved this book because I have read the first 3 books in the Addicted Calloway Sister series, and the first 3 books were fine, not gonna lie, they were a bit weird, but I liked the essence of the series. And then I got to this book and oh my god, it was so good. I'm totally hooked to the characters, I'm totally hooked to the series. I can't wait to read all the other books in this series. It feels like Gossip Girl, but not as annoying. So this was a big surprise. The second surprise is definitely the Edge of Darkness series by Lee Rivers. I knew it was dark romance and I expected to hate it, but I loved it. The series is unimaginable emotional torment. It's an emotional roller coaster and you're gonna love it. If you like dark romance and don't shy away from it, then you're gonna wanna have to try this. This was the biggest surprise. Next question is my new favorite author. So I don't have a new favorite author, but a new author I love is definitely Chloe Walsh. I did read Finding 13 and Keeping 13 2 years ago, 2-3 years ago, but I only now got into the Chloe Walsh universe and I loved it, so I definitely cannot wait until she's publishing more books, hopefully, please. Then there's my newest fictional crush or new favorite character. So I'm gonna combine these questions. Connor Cobalt and Rose Calloway from Kiss the Sky in the Calloway Sisters series. I love Connor and Rose is amazing. So there's a crush and a favorite character. Then there is Joey Lynch and Aoife Malloy from Saving 6 and Redeeming 6. Joey is a crush and Aoife is a favorite character. Then definitely Enzo and Elara. Enzo is the crush and Elara is a favorite character. And lastly, James and Rosabelle. James is the crush and frankly also Rosabelle is the crush and they are also both favorite characters. Books that made you cry. So this book made me cry. I did not anticipate it would make me cry, but it did. So if you want to cry, try it. I have to say the whole Edge of Darkness series, mainly Restitution, but I don't have that as a physical copy yet because it's releasing this month, but the whole Edge of Darkness, I was bawling. And then the Boys of Tommen books, not just Joey's books, but all the books. Taming 7 and Releasing 10, they were just emotional torment. So what can I say? A book that made you happy. This book definitely made me happy. It made me frustrated and giddy, annoyed, but mostly happy. This book made me very happy. I was giggling and kicking my feet while reading this one. And very surprisingly, Zodiac Academy book after Shadow Princess made me happy for a while at least. So Cursed Fates, 5 stars. Maybe I should have put this on my favorite reads, best reads so far in 2026. But it's here now. It made me happy in parts. I love this. This is the best book in the Zodiac Academy series. The most beautiful book you bought this year so far. So obviously the US Deluxe Special Edition of Release Me. This is gorgeous. The sprayed edges. And on the inside, it's gorgeous. So then I would say the 15th anniversary editions of the Mortal Instruments. The first 4 books, they are gorgeous. And then the Unearthly books by Palin Line Art. The book is by Cynthia Hand, but the cover is by Palin Line Art. And these are just gorgeous. The color is gorgeous. The woman is gorgeous. These are exactly the kind of covers that I love. And I will buy a book just based on the cover if the cover looks like this. The question I love most, which is the most anticipated upcoming releases to the second half of 2026. And I have lots. So firstly, there is Escape Me, which is the 3rd book in the Watch Me, Shatter Me series to New Republic series. And Escape Me is coming in September. So that is the most anticipated release that I cannot wait for. Then there is The Sweetest Fiend from Raven Kennedy. I have pre-ordered 2 copies. I pre-ordered the Waterstones copy because it was pretty, and then I heard that she's hand signing 1 set of copies 1,000 books from Goldsboro, and they are gorgeous. And I don't have a signed Raven Kennedy book, and I would do anything. And they ship to Finland, so of course I will be getting one. It's pre-ordered. Third place is Under the Iron Sky. Okay, I cannot forget that they are not first, second, third places. They are just, so this is the one that came to my mind first, and so on. You get the point. From A.T. Emerald, Under the Iron Sky, which is the published version based on the fanfiction Secrets and Masks, which is a Hermione fanfiction. And Secrets and Masks completely broke me. It's one of the only books that I can remember that I felt physically sick while finishing it, and I was crying so hard. And Under the Iron Sky better break again what Secrets and Masks broke first, and maybe fix a little bit, but I'm afraid it won't fix anything. It's a trilogy, so that's just the first book. But I would do anything to get an ARC copy. I will be patiently waiting. Then there's obviously Daybreak from Autumn Woods sequel, the concluding book in the duology that is Nightshade. And Nightshade was my favorite book from last year. I absolutely loved it. It's 6 stars, and I can't wait. I want to reread and annotate Nightshade before Daybreak comes out, and it comes out in less than 2 months. End of July. I can't wait. Then there's obviously ACOTAR 6. I don't know how I can forget that it's coming. I always forget that it's coming, but I think we have lived in delusion and in the post-ACOTAR publishing world where the 5 ACOTAR books that are out are just out, and my brain can't comprehend that there's a 6th book coming. There's an ACOTAR 6 in the world and it's coming. It's gonna be great. Then there's The Knave and the Moon from Rachel Gillick. I think The Knave and the Moon is the 2nd book in the duology of Stonewater Kingdom. I'm not sure, but I think it's a duology, and I cannot wait. Bartholomew. Lie in the Spring, Bartholomew. Oh my god, I cannot wait. Then, there's so many good books. What? The Fall of the Crowned King from Amber V. Nicole, which is the Gods and Monsters series. I cannot think about how Wrath of the Fallen ended. I can't. We will not think about it. I'm hoping that I would get an ARC copy of The Fall of the Crowned King, because I got an ARC copy of the Wrath of the Fallen. I'm forever grateful about it. I cannot believe it. Then there's The Lion and the Deathless Dark from Carissa Broadbent, which is the 3rd. Oh, there's a hot air balloon. Sorry. There's a hot air balloon I had to show you. I got so distracted. It is the 3rd duology in the Crowns of Nyaxia series, and it is the starting book of Septimus, and it's the 5th book in the series and 2nd to last book that is coming, and I can't wait. I have pre-ordered it. Then there's The Mirror of Infinite Endings from Stephanie Garber, which is the novella. Yeah, it's the novella after Once Upon a Broken Heart. And I have also pre-ordered that one because I want the pretty hardcover, naked hardcover book. And there are 4 versions and you don't know which one you get. I hope I get the pie one or the one with the broken heart. And yeah, there's a lot coming, but I think those are my most important ones that came to mind. Then there's also The Keeper from Anna Huang, which is the 3rd book in the Gods of the Game football series. And then there's Our Dark Incantations, which is based on a Hermione fanfiction again, The Damaged Goods. I can't wait for that one as well. And Adversary to the Villain is the 4th book in the Assistant to the Villain series. Last question. What books do you want to read by the end of the year? And this is an illegal question. You can't ask this. I will say all of the previous books I mentioned that are going to be released by the end of this year. And then, of course, Fallen Stars and The Thorn Queen. And then I would also like to read Rose in Chains, because I read The Auction, which is the fanfiction, which came before this one. And it's gorgeous. So definitely this one. I would hope Manacled. That's a bit thick, but we'll see. I will try. No, not Manacled. Alchemized. I have read Manacled. Sorry. And then The Wolf King, because I have heard so many good raving stories about this one. And it's based on Scotland, We're going to Scotland again, and I really want to read it, so let's hope. And I have like 100 books on my physical TBR and then my Kindle books, so I have a lot of books I want to read, but we'll see. And that's about it. Those are all the questions I had in the mid-year book freakout tag. And I will probably do an end of the year book freakout also. So I will recap all the books I have read this year and the stats and everything. So we'll get back to that one and we can mirror it to this video at the end of the year. That would be nice. But let me know in the comments what books you're excited to read on the second half of 2026. Comment and answer one of these questions. And if you're going to make this book freakout tag yourself, please tag me because I want to see them. But that's all for this video. I hope you liked it. Remember to subscribe. I will also post the same challenge on Instagram. Follow my bookish account there also. Read by Helmi, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!